Welcome to Grow My Etsy Shop podcast, the drips of knowledge you need to start growing. Hey, welcome. Shout out to anyone wearing a Snuggie right now. I only say that just because it's December. Probably cold in some places, so maybe someone out there's got a Snuggie on. All right, so today let's talk about the invisible growth system. That's a good name, right? That's found when someone purchases from you. So here's this idea, here's this thought, here's where you need to be thinking if you're not thinking. Etsy is a great platform. I know there's a lot of beef out there and there's some things and it's not like it used to be or whatever it may be, but it is very unique in the sense that it can generate traffic to you, I believe, easier than anything else out there. I'm hesitant because I'm going to say outside of paying for traffic. So you said to me, Jared, I'm going to start an Instagram today. And my goal is to have X amount of views or intent buyers coming to my landing page or my shop or whatever. Or I'm going to create an Etsy shop with the idea of having X amount of buyers or intent buyers coming to my products. It would be far easier to do it on Instagram or on plot twist on Etsy than it would be on Instagram. This is why I really do think Etsy should be part of your business and part of your funnel, and this is where we're going here. But it shouldn't be and always be the number one thing that you rely on for your sales. And if you've ever had a product get taken down, or if you've ever seen an algorithm shift, or if you've ever seen competitors chomping at you, you'll see really quick why this isn't just the safe landing place for stores long term. Now, I don't share this to frighten you. I share this to excite you, to see that there is potential beyond Etsy. Etsy is fantastic at generating and finding new customers for you. And so as long as you are doing the things that Etsy needs you to do, I was speaking to someone yesterday, they were talking about, they called it the hamster wheel, that they can get stuck in this hamster wheel of Etsy, which is essentially, she was a digital store, and so she's just like, man, I just feel like I have to burn and turn products, and I'll put all this work into seasonal products, and then the season's over, and I can't just reuse my same stuff, because if the algorithm doesn't just, for example, my Valentine's Day was fantastic. Do I just let the same stuff for Valentine's Day up again? Do I just put it up again this next year and hope that the algorithm will show it? When she's saying, I know people will still buy this product. It's just whether or not Etsy is going to show it through their algorithm. And that's what she's referring to. And she's just like, man, I feel like I'm just in this hamster wheel of burn and turn, burn and turn, burn and turn. And this can feel the same way for our physical products as well, is that you can have something that's working and then it just stops working. And a lot of the times that's when people come and knock on my door and they're like, hey, I've got this product. I want to have things go back to the way that they were. And this is where the reality of Etsy can hit us, which is like, we're not always given this luxury of, oh, looks like something just, a button got pushed by accident or something, a switch was hit. It's just more saying, look, you're just being outbidded by someone doing it better than you, or Etsy's algorithm is switching, or look, someone's undercutting you on this, so they're cutting into a portion of your sales. There's just things that can reveal this. Now, there's always things that you can do to make it better. And so if you are receiving traffic to something, we can make that better. If you aren't receiving traffic, we can help you get more traffic. But ultimately, Etsy is this hamster wheel that you have to be working towards. And so the idea of being able to generate traffic that is intent on buying you as opposed to intent on buying on Etsy can change the direction of your shop. But the thing that I want to lock on today is this more looking at Etsy as this process of a sales funnel and where we can continue to grow our income based on the traffic that Etsy's giving us. So there's this principle in sales, which is that for every yes you get, make an offer. Meaning, hey, do you want a cup of water? Sure. Do you want to sit down? Yeah, that'd be great. Do you want me to flip the TV on for you? Wonderful. I'm describing my perfect Friday evening here. But as you're offering and they're saying yes, there's things that are happening. One is they're becoming comfortable saying yes. Number two is you're learning what this person wants. So if you say to someone, do you want to sit down? And they say yes, what have we learned? A, they're comfortable sitting down. So perfect. We're getting them comfortable. We're seasoning them to be able to accept the offer. Number two is they kind of want to relax. And so what else can we offer this person that's going to help them relax? And that second yes is going to become easier than the first yes because you know more about this person. If you said, do you want to sit down? And they said yes. And then you're like, great. Do you want to run an Ironman? They might say, no, because the offer's wrong. But if somebody says, I want to go for a run, and then your thing is, do you want to trade for an Ironman? You might get a yes out of that. And so when we hear a yes, we learn about a person and we gain trust from a person. And so we want to make sure that our shopping process doesn't stop at a yes, that it stops at them saying, I'm good, or no thanks, or this is perfect. So there's someone in my life who does this principle really well. She is my contact. I guess that's a good way to put our relationship. She's my contact when I am onboarding a client into our system. So getting someone plugged into our system so that the tracking can be all correct. And this is not for my Etsy stuff. This is for my growth marketing stuff. It takes about a day, and it's so much kind of like back and forth and testing things, and like you're guaranteed to have one thing wrong, and it's one of those things where it's like the dominoes, where if one domino's off, the thing doesn't fall, except you're doing it essentially blindfolded. So you hit your dominoes, and all you can see is the last domino, and when it doesn't fall, you're like, oh freak, I have to go back and figure all this crap out. And so I've just learned to hate it. I don't like doing it, and so it was important to me that I get someone in here who can do this part for me, so that when I do want to assign someone, I don't wear the dread of, which this could be a total other podcast episode here, but the dread of success, which I've seen Etsy sellers have, and this is usually due to fulfillment. They hear their phones going off and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to make and package one more freaking thing. And so why, you want to grow, you want to make more money, you want to have more success, you want to take out your competitors, but at the same time, you don't want to package one more thing. You know what I mean? And so a lot of that times that lets you get into coast mode, and then coast mode eventually. Anyway, that's a podcast episode for another day. So I don't want to dread success. And so the idea is, hey, let's get somebody in here to help me with this task. And she is really good at the principle I'm talking about today. Because if I say to her, look, hey, can you connect this and this and this and this and this? And she goes, yep. And she goes through and she does those things. And then she says, hey, how is it? I look at it, hey, good. And then she'll say, hey, do you want this to load quicker? Yeah, I do. I guess you're right. I probably should have this be loading quicker. Now, if she was a cold email, reached out to me, Jared, I was going through your website or this client's website, and it could load faster. Why don't we jump on a call? We'll talk about this. My answer would be no. I'm not interested in what you have to sell me. I'm not interested. I have no trust for you. I have nothing that's there. No thanks. But because this person is part of my life, and because she's already involved in these things and has a finger on the pulse of what I'm doing, when she says to me, do you want this to load quicker? It syncs differently. And I kind of go, yeah, I do. That would actually be helpful. Thank you. Now, is this her first time offering something to me? No. She does it just about every time. And sometimes, Jared, do you want me to help you with the SEO of this? No, thanks. Not really what I need. I'm doing paid traffic for it. It's not going to be a big deal. We're looking for quicker results than the long game of SEO, so no thanks. And she says, great. No, all right. Let me know if you need anything else. Will do. That's it. Is it offensive? Am I mad? Can't believe? No, because to me, it comes from a helpful place. Hey, do you want these other things I can offer you? So now we need to take a look at ourselves and say, are we offering on a yes, or are we ending on a yes? This is where we want to look at our own sales funnel and recognize where we end. So most of us end on people receiving the product. It's when they get the product. And when you have someone receiving your product, you have their full attention. And so this is why it doesn't make sense when someone is like opening their package and you are like, do you want 15% off your next order? Join my email list. That breaks the flow of what someone's doing. It would be similar if we go back to my friend here. If I say to her, hey, I need all this tracking, I need all this stuff, and she's like, great. That sounds great. Do you want 15% off your next order? Join my email list. No, I know what I want. I'm confident in what I want. This is what I want. And so it isn't until I'm fulfilled with what I want that then you can offer me more. So when someone is opening their package, we don't want to say to them, hey, get advantage of me next time. Come on. We want to offer the step that they need next. I actually did a YouTube video on this. This is a funny story because my son, who's 13, said to me, Dad, I want to earn some money. What can I do? And I said, hey, I can teach some principles if you want to make YouTube videos for me. If you saw my first one, you know where this is going to go with this. He's like, oh, I got you, bro. He's an artist kid. He likes, but he is weird. He is a weird dude. He's very quirky. And so he's like, dude, got you. I'm going to do this thing for you. I'm like, great. And we're pretty strict on screens and things like this, and so he doesn't have a lot of open window. It's not like he's in his room all night working on this thing, and so anyway, and he has kind of like this really ghetto tablet that he's doing it on, but he's a good artist. And so I said, listen, this is the way I manage. I'm gonna let you have freedom, and if this freedom works, great. If it doesn't, we'll make some tweaks and we'll go along the way. He was like, I got you, Dad. I know what works. Now, he doesn't have YouTube. He doesn't have social media. So, like, a confident man of, like, I know this is going to work. I was like, dude, I am so curious what you got. I'm going to put it in the YouTube description or in my podcast description. Watch this video, and you are going to see exactly what I mean. But the principle behind this YouTube video that's being taught is this. It's the principle of when someone is opening your package, you need to offer them the next step to what you can do. And if you're saying, well, I don't do anything other than sell this product, that's where you need to look in the mirror and say, am I structured for growth or am I structured to be a taxi driver? I've used this reference before. Taxi drivers essentially get into their car and drive around and wait for people to wave their hand, and then you drive and you pick them up and you drop them off, and you can have a living off of this. You can make money doing this. It works until more taxis start to show up, until Uber shows up, until something happens in the city and people aren't traveling as much. And you're sitting there in your taxi cab and you realize that you were 100% dependent on the fact that someone would be outside waving their hand. And where now people are calling Ubers, or there's something going on in the city and people are walking more or whatever, or something is going on, the weather is bad and so people are staying indoors, and you recognize, I don't have another way of making money other than this process, someone raising their hand. So if we instead change our business model to say, look, when I bring someone into my taxi, I want to have them be a client to me. I want them to call me when they need something. And I want to offer them more than just a ride from A to B. How can I do these things? This is where you shift into business. Now, there's different ways to do this. Some people will say, and this is the approach I sort of took, is that I would sell a baby product, a nursing product, and then I would start to say, well, what else do they need? So if they're nursing, I know that hopefully I don't get flagged in my podcast episode for saying this, but I know they need nipple cream. I know that they need nursing pads. I know, like, I just started going down this rabbit hole, and then I started to switch to, well, what other things do they need? They probably have questions about this new journey that they're on. Can I provide answers for that? Can I provide community for that? Can I provide a place for them to go to feel comfortable? And that's how I built my brand. So I started with a product that was just selling off the shelves, and then I moved into, here are other things that you can get that can help you with this. And you're going to see that this is how brands work. They sell a product, this product does really well, and then from there you start to see other products with their names on it, because they have developed this brand that has this trust that you say, I like these people, I trust these people, I've said yes to these people before. So with your Etsy shop, when someone buys your product and says yes, what can be your next step? Now, in the glory days of Etsy, we had AWeber connected to this, which means that we had an opportunity to just shoot them an email. And is there still a way to do this? Yes. Is it more advanced? And yes. Is it in my group? Yes. Because it's a full video thing. In fact, I even have it locked in my group, not because it's behind a paywall. I just say to people, like, let me see your store before I open this for you, because it takes some tech skills to be able to do it. But once you do it, yes, you can continue to email people or collect emails after order. It's just that Etsy took away the integration of it, but the idea of emailing someone about their order is still completely fine. And so we use the same techniques, we just bypass some things, and it does work. Okay. I was speaking to someone yesterday. They have a digital download store, and they're selling for couple bucks. And I love this individual because she is bright. The word I use with her when I'm working with her is I say, I see your logic, because she just is logical, and I appreciate that about her. So Wolf, if you're listening, I think you have a great mind. So she says, hey, I'm looking at what my competition's doing, and she's the one that was talking about the hamster wheel. I'm in this hamster wheel, and I can't really grow my business because I'm stuck in this appeasing the gods in what I'm trying to do. And so I know what I make is better. I know that it's superior, and I'm ready to be better. And so she has these ideas of how can I add, which is a good mental exercise to have, which is to instead saying, how can I price more? You instead say, how can I value myself more so that I can charge more? Because there are going to be people who come in and buy your $3 print, but is there going to be someone who buys a $12 one? The answer is yes, but why? Why would they spend $12 instead of $3? And that's the problem you have to solve. So when we were speaking, she was saying, she has over 600 things in her store. And the idea of this is, if you have 600 things in your store and someone is buying from them, are there let's just say they buy one from you, is there a chance that one of the other 599 would speak to them? Yeah, there is a chance. Is there a chance, and I feel like this principle is kind of more high end what we would go into, but let's kind of start to move the peanut this direction. If someone is going to give you $4 for a digital download and then leave, how much did you make from that customer? $4 is the answer. So essentially that's your taxi. You picked them up, you drove them a short distance, they paid you $4 at the end. Is there any way that you could get $5 from them? That's the exercise you start with. So you say, if I only ever get $4 from that type of customer and I never see that customer again, is there a way I can get 5 instead of 4? So naturally you go, well, what if I just charge 5? Whoa. What if there was just a $1 upsell that moved that 4 to 5? Now let's just say 20% people take that $1 upsell. Meaning when they come in, you're like, hey, do you want a water? There's a thing of water in here. It's $1 for the water bottle. And 1 of 4 people take the water bottle. Did you just grow your business? Yes, you did. Because did it cost you anything? Did you pay extra for that customer? Did you do anything extra in your day? No. You picked that customer up and you dropped them off. But they bought a water bottle from you. And so $1 extra went into your pocket that day that you wouldn't have earned and that you didn't do anything extra for. They just picked it up. So in her scenario, and this is the idea of what we start to open up, is we start to say, what if you could offer a large amount of your collection for a price? For a price that makes them say, wow, that's a great price. So what happens is, I buy a download that shows that I'm interested. Again, hey, you want to have a seat? Yeah, I want to have a seat. What do I know about the person? They want to relax. Someone buys a download for me. What do I learn about them? They like this stuff. So what if I was to offer a large amount of my collections for a significant discount right when you received your digital download? Hey, do you want more? And in fact, and this is what we talked about with her, she has this email thing that I was talking about. I say to her, the way you want to look at this is that Your collection, selling your collection, is your main offer. That's what you want. So instead of being like, oh, cool, I sold a $4 print today, the idea is I sold a $4 print today, and I want them to become let's just put a number on this, a $50 person by buying my collection. So if I want that person to be a $50 person, this means that I need to have an offer that I'm excited about and that I'm willing to sell. I'm willing to say to them, hey, you seem to be interested in this. Would you want this? And if one of every 4 people says yes to this offer, one of every 20 people, I don't care what the number is, you've grown from a customer that would have never given you $50 to a customer handing you $50. And when you sell $4 prints and suddenly someone hands you $50 and suddenly 2 people in a day hand you $50 and 3 people, that's when you're like, hey, I'm not doing any extra work. That collection already exists, but I'm able to then give them this and make money that I wouldn't have made otherwise. And this is where you get into the yes logic of, am I offering and allowing people to say no thanks or yes? That's how you want to end your interaction with them. Not with thanks, see ya. Offer them more. And if they take, great. If you're getting lots of no's, change your offer. Because there's something out there that they're going to want. I can promise you that you are not the last person they're ever going to buy something from. It's a promise from Jared Robinson. They are going to, at one point in their life, take their wallet out again and buy something. The chances of it being you, 0, unless you give them an opportunity to do it. So if I'm you, we're heading into December here. We're ending our holiday boom. We're opening a new year. I'm going to look at my Etsy shop and I'm going to say, what's the last yes that I get? And how can I add another yes? What would be that thing? If I'm selling nursing products, are there other nursing products that they need? Are there better nursing products that they need? Are there other resources that they need? Because this is another thing that's worth thinking about as well, is like, maybe my yes isn't going to happen right after purchase, and that's okay. But what if there's a way for them to yes into something else that allows me to keep the communication door open? And so I'm a big believer of this. In fact, when I was speaking to this woman yesterday, some of the advice that I gave her was, instead of sending an email that's like, hey, I got this great thing, buy it, why don't you send a video of you showing off the catalog? A screen share that you're going through it and you're saying, look, here's all the things that I have. Here's all the things you can get. This is this is why this is a good deal. And then I sprinkled in some other strategies that I'll hold with her about how to present that and how to go. But as podcast listeners, you can hear the principle that's behind this of what we're doing and understand this. And so if you're a physical product and you're scratching your head and you're like, dude, I don't know, I only sell this and I don't know how to go beyond this. Well, then the first thing you look at is, why do you only sell this? Is there an opportunity to sell more or cross-sell with what you're doing, or upsell in what you're doing? Or is there a way that we can continue to serve them so that we can upsell, cross-sell, promote in the future? Meaning, can we say, hey, here's a great video that's going to teach you how to use this product, and then allow ourselves to be able to be in their world, connect with them, whatever it may be. That's kind of the more basic stuff to all the way up into further. And so I've personally structured a lot of my own shop or my own growth using this principle. And so when I started a podcast, did I have anything? No. The answer was no. I just knew there's going to be people out here who want to grow their Etsy shop that are probably interested in hearing something more from a growth marketer than they are from just someone who did well on Etsy. And so I thought, look, I'm going to try to teach high-level marketing principles to Etsy shop sellers, and that message worked. I feel like I have a pretty good podcast. And then from there, I was able to say, look, I have a bunch of people, let's go back to our analogy here, sitting with a glass of water watching TV. What else do they need? And then I could say, do you want me to bring you a TV dinner? And they go, yeah. Oh. And so A perfect example of this is, hey, remember that thing I was running on Black Friday that I had a bunch of people sign up for? That's like 3 months into my private program. It comes with calls, and then they get the new growth program that they're going to work alongside with other people, and it's going to be great. Hey, I have it open to the end of the year. And so if you want to come check this out, like it's up. And so come over to this thing and join me in January. So if you like what you hear, if you like this stuff, you're like, Jared, I'd love help with this kind of stuff in my own Etsy shop. Come join me. Come check it out. I'll put the link in the thing. There you go. There's a great example of me saying, all you have to say is no thanks. No, I'm good with the podcast. I'm good with this. And I go, great. Happy that you are. But if you're like, yeah, I would like a TV dinner, you know where to find me. Okay, till next week.